Started. I just pulled up your, I had it here. Hold on.
Oh, don't even read it, girl. It's
totally. Don't even do that. It was so good though. Okay. So good. Okay, so the recording is on. So welcome everybody to our Wednesday night 8:30 Team B call. As you guys know, one of our objectives was to get more speakers on so you could hear their heart, their stories, and see other successful people doing this business. So we have a very special guest tonight, Christie next, who is National Marketing Director, 24 Club from Hawaii. She's a military wife, background in film and beautiful photography. And Christie and I have been getting to know each other over the last few years through the Shining Star organization. I had a chance to hang out with her down the river, down in the Seattle Summit, and get to hang out a little bit at conference and really get to know her heart. Can you guys put yourself on mute, Sarah Naylor, please?
Sorry.
And so anyways, we are just so excited. I saw Christie's presentation at the Seattle Summit. She was right before me, and it was all about mindset and the inner critic. And so without further ado, we are going to introduce Christie. She's going to share a little bit of her story, and then she's going to go right into a PowerPoint presentation. So take some notes, get your pen and paper out, give her a big love and cheer, and get ready to hear about how we need to be changing our mindset when it comes to this business. So Christie, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. It has been such an awesome joy to be watching Nicole and the rest of you guys, the crew, exploding across the world, really, but I really see Canada representing, and it's just great to be alongside you guys and with Nicole and Brave Leaders. You guys have a really awesome leader, just in case you don't realize that, which you should. You're smart people. I don't know, I won the lottery with her. So okay, I'm going to take you guys back to college. That's where my story begins. And I was going to school to be a teacher. I was just about to graduate, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to have a Monday through Friday, go home, do more planning, deal with teachers, work my weekends around the next week. I just wasn't ready, so I delayed, and I thought, here's my mindset piece. Wouldn't it be cool to escape the cold in Michigan and go to school somewhere else that's really warm? And lo and behold, I get this email from Travel Zoo that says, fly to Hawaii for $400 from Detroit. And I thought, I'm doing this. The offer was only available for 2 hours. I had a friend that I grew up with who was stationed in the Navy here, and he was leaving in a month. And he's like, you can stay on my couch if you want to, but I had to get accepted to a new college. All my credits had to transfer, but everything worked out. The next day I hit the ground running. I looked for a job, and I got a job at the first place that would hire me. It was like this mailboxes, etc. shipping place. And in walks this very pregnant lady with a Juice Plus fax to fax in a Juice Plus order. And I didn't start taking Juice Plus. I didn't work the business with her, but I did get hired as her nanny. And that was there when her and her husband invited me to come to a health talk, because they were sick and tired of me eating McDonald's in front of their 4 surfer kids who were eating spinach by the handfuls out of their refrigerator. So they wanted me to listen to the message, but I was broke, you guys. I had $100 to my name after I bought that plane ticket. So I was going for the quick buck, but I was not going to buy anything, and I didn't. But I was very skeptical, but I did see the value of eating more fruits and vegetables, but I didn't follow through with it. Luckily and unluckily at the time, my husband was deployed. But a nurse friend of his around the same time shared Juice Plus with him, and he was living next to an oil field. They were burning their own feces. It was there was E. coli in their water, not the typical health right there. Very austere conditions. So he's like, send me whatever you've got. I'm sick all the time. He didn't realize a 4-month supply, mailed it to me. I rolled my eyes at it and ate it to prove him wrong. And that was 17 years ago. We became customers later. We got back on it, became customers later, canceled again. And eventually I decided I'm going to pick up the China study and read it cover to cover. And I was cold turkey vegan. And then all of a sudden I was like, but we need more. There's no such thing as enough fruits and vegetables. So I went back to the family that introduced it to me in the first place, talked to them about it. And then they said, hey, you might as well offset the costs of your products. And at that point, we were a military family, not making very much money. So I decided, what the heck, what's $50? At that same time, I invested into a $50,000 film business that had owned me. I had filmed my own, like I had filmed on my 1-year anniversary, someone else's wedding, while my husband was actually on US soil, which still stung 10 years later. And then I got a call that nobody ever wants to get. And that was that my dad was dying because of reasons that could have been prevented. And I had this huge $20,000 commercial that was all on me that I was filming. I had a crew, and I had to put everything on hold so that I could make it home and say goodbye. The military was just about to move us to yet, I think, our 8th move in 6 years. And I didn't know if I would ever see my dad again. I saw him for 2 days, and I stood at the edge of his bed and I watched him die because of reasons that could have been prevented. And I serve as, I feel like, this don't let tragedy strike for you to make a decision to move forward in this business, because my mission now is that families need more time. And whether they decide to get Juice Plus from me or someone else, we have to share this mission and at least let them know that it exists, because I know it gave my dad more time. So I closed up my film business immediately after that commercial shoot that I finished up, and our team hit top position in the company 3 years later. I was stuck for 4 years as a sales coordinator. Stuck for 4 years total, and then hit NMD exactly a year after hitting SSC. So fast is fun, slow is slow. I've been both. So what I realized is the biggest change with me was not just a strong why, but it was a belief. It was all mindset. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm working on the title. This was the title for Seattle Summit, but I'm finding that that's not the right title. Maybe it should be something like, so you got promoted, now what? What's next? Something like that. Because, oh, hold on just a second. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I can't see anything. Okay, sorry, everything paused. Okay, so I was talking to Kristen Hilmer, and she just got back from GoPro, and she was there for like 5 intensive days with a very intimate amount of leaders, people who were just killing it in their businesses. And she said, you know what? It doesn't matter the level that you're in. We all still have the same problems. We've got to continue talking to people. We've got to expand, and we have to keep our mindset at point. New level, new devil. I don't know if you've heard that, but it just made so much sense. So I know you guys have a great mentor in this. So you know, when I talk to other people, I'm like, whether you have a good mentor or not, I know who your mentor is, so you guys are killing it. But we also have the systems. We have Freedom Revolution. We have mission-driven model. We have rep wrap. You have your team meetings. We have everything. I mean, I recently just moved back to Hawaii, and I unpacked all my boxes after not seeing them for 3 years, and I came across my first Seattle Summit notebook back in like 2011. And I saw someone had done a training on how to get to National Marketing Director. I had everything with me at that moment. It was kind of like Dorothy when she clicked her heels. She had that power all along to go back home. The same thing goes for us. It was me. That's the reason why I didn't hit NMD as fast as I like, because I needed to get my head in the game. So what I want to do when I see this happening, especially with this team and across Juice Plus as a whole, is I'm finding that it is time to normalize mindset. This should be a conversation that we're having as soon as our reps start, or maybe even before. It's everything, you know. I grew up with a mom who showed me how to think positively. And like I said, this ticket appeared to get to Hawaii, and I just set it out there, and things like that would continue to happen. I would be broke, you guys. I would be living paycheck to paycheck out here, a couple times thinking I had to go home, and my mom would give me these abundance affirmations to write down and say, and money would appear. And all of a sudden at some point I was like, oh, this doesn't happen for everyone. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe I should stop. I have no idea why I stopped. Life was going good that way. But once I stopped, I started working harder, not smarter. And until 3 years ago, when our team hit NMD, that's when I made the change again with the mindset. But I want to go back to ground level here real quick, is like going back to normalizing this, because I don't know what it's like for your team, but I see what happened in my team is we get people to VF, but they take a knee after that. And what I find is more than likely it's because someone has said no to them. Someone has doubted them. So I want to first make sure that you as an upline recognize that they're not moving forward is not your fault. I don't want to call it a failure because it's not. It's it's on them, like I had said. So from day one, we should start planting these seeds that it's not just how we talk to our prospects, because verbiage is key. And that's what I'm learning more and more with new reps is what do I say? How do I say it? And when do I say it? But, you know, in Allie's follow-up training, I think if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. I think that's why it's so fabulous is because her verbiage is so real and on point. But we're all going to trust everything Allie Schneider says because she's got it. She's got the mindset. We're not going to doubt that. So we want to take on that same energy and that mindset like Allie has and go out there and share that verbiage. So how we talk to ourselves is the most important. We need to set the pace of a new language of making sure it's pure, powerful, and productive. So the magic dust of how people get to VF is they do exactly the same thing beyond VF. Nothing changes. They keep reaching out. They keep talking to people. The customer care is going to increase, and so is the distributor care, but being consistent with that. And that stuff's fun. So we follow the funnel. This is our system that we've learned from another call on Rep with Brian Marsh. We create the curiosity. We have these conversations. We invite them to events based on those conversations. We do awesome follow-up like Allie has taught us, and we do 3-way calls. Wash, rinse, repeat. But if it was that easy, we would have so many more national marketing directors walking across the stage at conference. I just saw what Mitra posted on the Shining Star page about how 1.2% of the people in the company are national marketing directors. We need to make that number go higher. So I just see too many people throwing in the towel because of fear. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fear as far as looking at entrepreneurial mindset versus employee mindset. So in college, I was working for this nonprofit organization, and this lady my boss brought this list of 100 names that I needed to call to ask for money. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that sent fear down through my entire body. I wanted to die, basically. But I did it because someone was telling me what to do. My job depended on it, and I was getting paid. But have you ever done that with this business? I've never called 100 people to reach out to them to see if they want to join my team or get started with Juice Plus. Never a day have I done 100 people in one day. But I could, but why don't I? Maybe it's not something that you can keep up with, or maybe I'm playing small. It depends on your goal. So it's time that we flex that entrepreneurial brain. We paid $50 for a business that can give us so much more. We just have to flex that entrepreneurial brain. I mean, think about when you were a kid. I'm going to guarantee that almost everyone on this call had a lemonade stand. We sold some artwork that we thought was fabulous and didn't care if other people didn't think so. We wanted to make an income. So when did we stop loving the art of sales? I know people say you're not selling, you're sharing, but at the same time, there is an exchange of energy. There's an exchange of money, and we are selling something. I don't want to hide behind that. I want to be proud. Everyone is selling something. If you got your kids to eat breakfast this morning, you sold them on it. So when did we stop loving that? When did we start worrying so much about what other people thought? Who got in our heads? And in Mitra's verbiage, who did you allow to infect you? Because that's exactly what they did. This is what I hear from VFs. I'm so exhausted from hitting VF because they got completely out of their comfort zone for however long it took them. Maybe it took them a day, maybe it took them 60, maybe it took them longer, but it stretched them, and they kind of want to go back to this complacency part, and they're afraid to keep doing what they just did. So are you going to first, when someone says no to you, are you going to let them steal your dreams? You know, what if Mitra quit following up with Joy? I swear that she worked on her for a year to join this business. And I know that Joy worked on Allie Schneider and another national marketing director, Amy Meyer, for at least 4 months. You know, out of that came AJ Majors under Allie. Look at these powerful NMDs that we have. And I want to ask you, if you're playing small like I have, how many NMDs are we missing out on by letting the no's impact us? How many influencers are we not talking to because we've let someone say no to us? You know, it's kind of like when we first join the business and we tell our family about it and they want to tell us that this is a pyramid scheme. They're just trying to protect us, but at the same time, they don't know what they don't know. So think about this, you know, colds don't last forever. This is temporary. How do we fight a cold? We want to triple up on our Juice Plus. We want to drink a lot more water. We want to eat more plants, get sleep. We want to boost our immune system so that our body can recover faster. And the same thing is that we want to do that with our business. And, you know, it's not enough to just be able to practice the funnel. It's not enough to just do the funnel. We have to raise our vibrations with that. So part of inoculating ourselves when we do get infected is learning how to control our energy. So if you walk into a room and you don't have that confidence, people are going to feel it. I know people say you can fake it till you make it, and maybe to a certain extent that's true, but you can't do that through life. You've got to find a way to create an energy inside yourself that is authentic and unique, and take that initiative. We can't just wait for the bad energy to leave. It's in our power to change it. So, like I said, my background is film. So when I worked with a high-end wedding industry, I would wake up, listen to some music, get ready for the day, drive to the hotel, knock on the bride's room door, and then their energy would hit me like a ton of bricks. It could be better energy than what I had, or it could be some bridezilla energy that you could just feel like was super tense. And I found that was impacting my skill set as an artist. It was impacting their videos. And I realized that I have to be the one that brings the energy in the room. I have to be the one that can outnumber the 20 people that may be in there, and you can do it too. So attacking that same approach to our business every time you get on the phone to talk to someone. Amy Meyer does the power pose, you know, hands on hips, the Wonder Woman pose, before she gets on the phone with people. Other people listen to like a great song on the radio, but this is where I'd love for you to use the chat feature on this and think about and brainstorm with people. What do you like to do? For me, I want to be indoor skydiving all day long. I think of nothing else, and I am as happy as I possibly can be when I am floating on a pocket of air. But that's not always someone else's fun thing to do. Some people may really just want to knit a sweater, and that is awesome too. Whatever makes you have joy is the important thing, you know. And being able to have a win, get a new customer order, get a new team member, like, what? Tell me that doesn't raise your vibrations. You know, filling in your win journal at night, like Mitra says, even if you just brush their teeth, that is a win, and taking all the negativity away from that. I have this book called the 5-Minute Journal, and at night it says, what did you accomplish? What are 3 things you're so proud of? And then it also has a section of like, what could have been better? And a lot of times I went to the gym. I didn't really, but it sounds a lot better that I didn't go, that I suck again, I didn't go to the gym. So I have the intention, I just don't make it that priority, but it's all about that verbiage. So, you know, also check some things off on your bucket list. If you want to learn how to go scuba diving, that might be a really awesome new niche to tap into and new friends. We always have to be expanding in this business, right? So, you know, one last thing as far as talking about VFs, and I hear the word a lot, or in any position really, I feel like I just failed. Well, the great thing is you can fail your way forward in this business. I mean, Nicole was a speaker, and I asked her the question I ask everyone is, what would you do over, or how did you fail your way to NMD? You know, the Silicon Valley will not hire people in startups unless they have a list of things that they failed at, because they want to see resiliency. And that's what you need in this business. You've got to have that resiliency. But everything in this business is between our ears. And if we don't have that resiliency, I am willing to bet that it's because of fear. And it's the bad kind of fear. It's this right here, Pachad. So I've learned that according to this guy, Alan Liu, he's this writer and spiritual teacher, he says that there's 2 types of fear, Pachad and Yara. And I could be pronouncing it completely wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. So Pachad is like this, the fear of projected imagined things. It's the acronym false evidence appearing real. So it's kind of like those shitty first drafts that we create in our head. Someone's not going to be my friend if I keep asking them to join my business. What if they think I'm being salesy? What if they say no? I'm just going to embarrass myself. I'm going to say something stupid. It's the fear that often comes from that voice in our head, which is called the inner critic. Ira, on the other hand, is the feeling that overcomes us when we step into a space that we're not used to being in. That's a little bit bigger, a little bit outside of our comfort zone, but it's making us grow, and it's awesome. It's the space where it's a special kind of energy. Like when we come back from conference and one of my team members sees this vision and they send me this message on Voxer and their voice sounds different. It's a different pace. It's a different tone. There's something behind it. And they say, I think I want to be a national marketing director, or I know it. And I know that they've just decided to play big. But then there's this pause and they're like, but I'm so scared. So yeah, you have Pachad and Yara together right there. But there's that defining moment where they're just going to keep failing their way forward until they make it happen, no matter how afraid they are. So it's awesome when they decide they want to lead a team. So it's almost like we're tapping into this inner vitality of ourself that's been waiting for us to make this decision, patiently waiting. And it's the feeling that I got when I decided to go for national marketing director. I had to declare my vision. I had to ask my team for help. And I know that I still need to continue doing that, because if I don't do it, the energy is not going to run down the leash, and they're not going to feel like it's okay that they can ask their teams for help. So here's I guess a few steps on what we want to look at, real life examples of what Yara and Prachada are, and then some actions to take so we can recognize and name this type of fear. So have you guys seen a bunch of first day of school photos on Facebook this week? Or maybe your kids have already gone back. We've all been to school the first time, and you know that feeling, that chase the butterfly feeling, that's Yara. That's the type where when you feel that inspiration come up, you want to go and use those skill sets that we've learned from GoPro. Is we want to invite to that event immediately when we feel this energy. We want to follow up with those people who are ghosting us. We want to ask for help, but we want to welcome this energy, savor it, and never put it off for later. You want to allow that to happen. Pachad is typically when we're playing big and we're letting fear get into our heads so bad that we could put that energy away, that excitement. So when you do that, then you get in your head. So we want to tap into our inner mentor, and there's a meditation you guys can do for it, or just think about what would Nicole do? I've seen Nicole play big. I've seen her go full out into vulnerability and growth, and I know you guys have too. So I would not question myself when I'd say, well, what would Nicole Scott do? And also inviting love in. Have grace on yourself. Okay, I'm fearful right now. I'm doubting myself. I can do this. Start letting love in, but get curious. Dig deeper. Why am I feeling this way? What's the worst that could happen? And start journaling this. Usually it's not the surface thing. It's something a little bit more. So dig a little bit deeper, talk it out with a friend, your upline, and remember why you got into this. Reconnect to that desire to serve, because that's what I'm guessing 90% of us got in here for, is we wanted to help people. It just so happens that we can make a really good income doing that. So look at this community, stay in the room with them, and then follow fear to the end game. Like I said, what's the worst that can happen? Remember that fear paralyzes us by these worst case scenarios that really aren't that big of a deal when we actually think about it. If it's time to call your customer and see if they're ready to accept their next shipment of their product, and they say no, delay it or cancel it, so you've lost a customer. It's not the end of the world, and they can come back. I always say, but did you die? I love that. I love that picture I see floating around Facebook is, did you die? There is no fruit and veggie emergency. And sometimes we just have to take a moment and do some breath work and maybe some visualization. So whatever it is, though, the most important thing is when you're feeling that way, find ways to allow yourself to get back into that vitality, that energy, so you feel better. Okay, so the inner critic. The inner critic that we all have in our heads is this voice of self-doubt. It's the one that feels like it's running the show. You're not good enough. You can't do this. Everyone has one. but it's the voice of not me. It's just kind of like this roommate that's been sitting inside your head and just constantly talking. Do you ever sit with someone and you're watching like a movie or a TV show and they're asking question after question? Why are they doing this? What's next? What's going to happen? Oh, they shouldn't do that. And you're just like, just watch. That's what you eventually want to figure out, how to get that inner critic to just be a little bit quieter. But we can learn to live with them, but we cannot take direction from them. But also remember that they are coming from a good place. Like I said earlier, you know, our family was trying to come from a really good place if they were skeptical when we came into this business. The same is for your inner critic. But the good news is when you do have an inner critic attack, it's good news, because it means you're playing bigger and they want to sound the horn. You have basically awoken a sleeping giant at the end of your comfort zone. So keep moving forward and notice and name it. Just be like, thanks, I got it covered. I'm totally good. So you guys are, if you want to take a screenshot of this, I know you have the recording, but this is how you create your inner critic. I got it from a book called Playing Big, and you guys are going to meet my inner critic. This is Helda. Everybody say hi to Helda. Would you listen to her? Would you listen to Helda say you're not good enough? The woman wears a pink pantsuit, you guys. She smokes all day and eats Lucky Charms for breakfast and has this really gnarly smoker voice, and she's from New Jersey. Not that there's anything wrong with New Jersey, but that's when I thought about her, that was the state she was from. I'm not sure. I think it might be a little bit of the abrasiveness, which can be a good thing, but she's abrasive. She's negative as they come, but she's also very loyal and hardworking. She does work harder, not smarter. And she really does want what's best for me. But I've got to tell her, Helda, I've got this. I cannot let her infect me. Sometimes she does. Even after doing this, I know she's there. But a few things about the inner critic. Don't try and win an argument with her. At first, I kept saying like, shut up, Helda. But then I'm just creating a war, and that's not good for anybody either. So your relationship with your inner critic is also going to change, because as you do personal growth, they're going to still protect you. They may go away for a little bit and you'll think they're going to be gone, but they will be back. So my goal is also to normalize the inner critic, because how many times have you had a conversation with one of your new reps and they tell you they want to save their family from losing their home, or they want to be able to take their family on this fabulous vacation because all they can afford now is camping, and they want to be able to stay at the Ritz just one time. I'm invested. Karen Jones says you are the keeper of their dreams. When they tell me that, I make a plan with them. And then all of a sudden, trying to reach out to them, check in, how you're doing, and it's crickets. My team member is ghosting me. The one who is invested in their why is being ghosted, and it hurts a little bit. So with some people, I've developed this like, hey, now when I first start launching people, you're going to get in your head and you're going to want to ghost me because you're going to think that you're going to disappoint me. But all of that is not true. That is your inner critic telling you that. Maybe I could come up with like this word. So one girl, all I have to do is type in pineapple, and she's like, you're right. I'm totally ghosting you, but what I found is it's so much better and therapeutic for all of us to just admit that we do have an inner mentor, and let's just find out what their personality is, so that instead they can say, Christie, Helda is back at it again. And then I can say, well, let's tell Helda you got it, right? So on the other side of your inner critic, you have an inner mentor who is patiently waiting for you to figure out how to deal with that negative talk, and for that negative talk to silence, so they can appear and help you become what you're made of. They're like your North Star. It's kind of like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. So there is a meditation you guys can do. It's like 10 minutes. If you go to that link on this slide, the taramore.com, you can download it, and it's 10 minutes. Have a journal and just have enough time to really do this. Like, play big on this and just find out who that inner mentor is, because it's like that gut. What does your gut tell you? Get used to listening more to that. But here's where I'm almost at the end, and it's just going to get weird for a second. But like I mentioned, I lost my dad. And when I lost my dad about 6 or 7 years ago, I was really struggling with life after death and thinking a lot about what could happen. And I wondered what he was doing. I know that sounds crazy, but to me, he was just in a different place now. And well, no, that doesn't seem too weird, but I was wondering what he was doing. And then I started making up this thing in my head that says, okay, so maybe when you go through the pearly gates, you get escorted into a theater. Remember, my background is film. So my view is you go into this movie theater and you either get to or you have to watch the documentary of your life. And if you could take a moment right now and think that you were sitting in front of an empty screen and they were about to play your life, what would it be? Would you be proud of that? Would you be bored because of complacency and having no plot because you're doing the same thing over and over again every single day? Or would you watch yourself win like a boss every single day? So my goal is to really focus on that, to really think about, what am I doing? This is the only body I get through the rest of my life. How am I going to kill it? Not kill it, but how am I going to kill it in this life? How am I going to help others? How am I going to help my family? So going back, I've got to understand that my inner critic exists and I cannot take direction from her. It's important that I'm constantly seeking out what my inner mentor wants, understanding that there is no fruit and veggie emergency, and that when I feel the feeling of yara, that it's time to take action and know that that's where I am on the cusp of something great and some really awesome growth. So thinking about what your documentary of your life is going to look like and where you want to be, journal it. Talk to your upline. But go big in this business. Our company goes big for us.
Wow, that was so amazing. It went by way too fast. I was just getting into it. Christie, that was so amazing. I love it. And I think, being in this business for 13 years, and I remember Mitra was mentoring me, and she said, all you have to do is work on this and you will get to NMD. And then all you need to do is work on this to get to, 24 Club. And what did you say about the mindset and the devil at the beginning?
Oh, it's like the angel and the devil on your shoulders?
No, you had a quote in the beginning to say something about we have to keep on growing to fight the devil, something like that.
I have no idea.
Anyways.
I don't know what I said.
Whatever you said at the beginning was all about, if we want to keep on growing and moving in life, we have to keep on working on this. Doesn't matter if you're a DD or a 100 clubber, Mitra is, still got her eye on the pie for 1,000 club, but she has to keep on working at this. So it's not being stagnant. And this is such a great example of what is the foundation of growth is the inner critic. I love it. So here's a homework assignment for everyone. And when we get together on the next team call, we're going to have a picture of who our inner critics are and share it with each other. That's going to be hilarious. I have a few ideas. That'll be a fun team call.
Yes. Find out their bank code and who their inner critic is. That's
awesome. Now I do have to run, but Christie has given us a little bit more time if you guys want to stay on with her. And she's more than happy to do any Q&A, or if you guys just want to have any love, comments, suggestions of what she just gave us. Keep on moving forward in this amazing call. I have to go. Thank you, Christie, so much. I got to grab a teenager, and thank you, Team B, for showing up and listening to this amazing message. What's going to be recorded and putting on, we're going to put this one on our team website. And I think it should be in the new starter. When we working with a new rep, this should be like one of the videos that we need to have that conversation with.
Nicole, right? Before you log off, is it going to stop the recording and stop all of our connection because you're the host?
No, Nikki is the host.
You're awesome.
Love you guys. Thank you, Christie. Love you.
Love you.
Okay, guys, so if you have any questions, just unmute and ask away.
Oh, I see someone was asking it's Ellen Liu about the different types of fear.
That was me. Thank you.
L-E-W. And I got that from the book Playing Big. That's where they mentioned Chad and Yara and said that they learned that from Alan Liu. So.
Well, if no one has any questions, I just want to say I heard your training on Mitra's call today and again today, and I just want to thank you. Your story is amazing. Your smile lights up a room. So it's just been awesome even just watching you smile your life away. Like, I want to know what's going on in her world. That's the kind of like pull you want into your business, right? It's just who you show up as and who you are. It's very clear why you're being successful. So thank you.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm going to talk. I know, I remember what you just said earlier about your new reps and how they're like ghosting and you need to have that conversation. Can you go a little bit more into that? Because I find like that's like one of the biggest challenges.
Absolutely. And I try to be as real with them now at the beginning as possible. I mean, before it would just be one step at a time and I thought, oh, we'll get to it when they ghost me. But I want to clear it up immediately. And I say, this business is going to bring up all the, I cuss a little, this business is going to bring up all the shit that you've dealt with in your life. Things are going to come up. You are going to be insecure on a lot of things. And I want you to know when you feel that, you have to come to me. Because more than likely, I have either gone through it myself or I have helped someone get through it. So this is where you really lean on me and I am here for you. And because you just told me what your dreams are, I am the keeper of them. I want to make sure that this happens for you. So I'm invested and I'm going to ask that you respect me through this. There are going to be times when it's so hard that you're going to want to not talk to me. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to feel like you've let me down. You're going to feel like you've failed. And I'm going to ask you to give me the time to just say, I'm in my head. I'm going to ask you to tell me how you want to recover from that. But you at least need to let me know. Please do not ignore me.
That makes complete sense. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I love that Christie like setting that from the get-go. I'm a newer NMD. I hit NMD the same time AJ and Kristen did, and it doesn't change. But that's an absolute gem of this community and business is that you're always growing. Because the last couple months I've totally been going through that, and it doesn't stop, but that's the beauty of it. Like, I'm just growing to the person that I'm supposed to be, and it's amazing. So I love actually having that conversation from the get-go, because like Brandy just said, like, I'm struggling with that with my team. Some people are, but it's amazing. It's an amazing gift, the personal growth that happens throughout your journey. It is, honestly, I get chills just thinking about how much I've changed and how much I've seen some of my team that are open to personal growth change. It's amazing. Amazing.
Sarah, what did you do before this?
I actually still work full time. I am in the healthcare world.
And how long have you been in the healthcare world for?
9 years.
And have you ever had the amount of personal growth?
No. It's crazy. Like, I get goosebumps just thinking how much I've changed and grown, and I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yep. That's the greatest thing. I mean, my husband was in the military for 13 years and now he's a reservist, but he said, he's a leader. He's a special forces leader. They do some incredibly intense things. And he said he has seen me have more personal development and leadership growth and network marketing than he ever has with the U.S. military. So he has taken what he's learned from going to conferences with me and from team calls and applied that to his military career from what we get from Juice Plus. And we get paid for it. We get to become better people and get paid. And work with people that you love. Like, what? It's awesome.
Do you think is because you're having to face your fear?
100%. Yep.
But you're living. That's the thing, and fear is absolutely crazy scary, but once you like getting up on stage to do your NMD speech, I don't know if you remember, oh, I'm sure you do, Christy, like that's crazy. But afterwards you're just like, wow, like all of everything was just for that moment, you know, and it just kind of sets the bar for what's to come. So
absolutely. I mean, it's even like, do you remember the first time you were in charge of leading an event, and you might have wanted to like not be friends with your upline for making you do it, and then after you're like, oh my God, I just did that. That was awesome. Let's do it again. You know, and then it's time for you to do it again. You're like, I don't know why I said I wanted to do this. This is crazy. You know, but that's what it is. It is leaning into the fear. But at first, honestly, it's not just fear. It's actually deepening your relationships, because you've been trained to ask people so many more questions. How many more relationships have you developed, whether they become a customer of yours or not? Everything is enriched.
Can you talk a little bit about how, like, you talked about how you used to tell your inner critic to shut up.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're not like silencing that. It's like you're developing a relationship with
Totally.
part of your subconscious, I suppose.
Yes. It's like living with a negative roommate that you're stuck with for life. You have no other option. You know, so how do you keep your energy high while telling them you've got it? You know, when I'd be like, God, I mean, I would sometimes talk to myself and be like, shut up. But I thought it was me too. So I would be like, shut up, Christy. And then I realized it wasn't me, it's Helda. And then I thought I could still go to war with Helda. But it just, like, I realized that, okay, so me telling them to shut up really validates the fact that I still believe I can do it. I just know I'm in my head. So there's that uncovering of it too. But now just being able to, like, I got this. I've got this, you know, and being able to dig into for me, the end game, thinking about the end game is always the biggest, is what is the worst that could happen? What is it? You know, like, there is no fruit and veggie emergency. We're not going to get sued. I had my film business where I could have gotten sued for losing footage or not filming something if my contract wasn't on point. I was always worried it wasn't on point. Corporate has us. What's the worst that could happen? You make a fool of yourself? Have you ever made a fool of yourself before?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Can you laugh at yourself? Can you learn from that mistake? Then it's still growth. And I always say, when you go through something like that, kind of like an initiation, like, sometimes I have people who hit me up and they pause for a really long time because whatever reason they can't move forward. And I'm like, look, welcome to the struggle bus. This is real. Not everything in this business is easy. You hit a high point. You're on the struggle bus now, and you've got to embrace the struggle bus, because you're going to have team that are going to be on the struggle bus. And how are you going to get them off? You've got to go through the suck to help them get out of it.
One thing that I've really been learning is like how much my brain wants to avoid pain at any cost. And it's like sometimes that rejection or being ignored or avoided can be really painful. And it's like my threshold is getting bigger, right? Like I can cope with it a lot easier now. But I think it was a really big hurdle. And I think like a lot of people, like when you've gone through your list and then you're like, now what?
Yeah. Did you watch Ali Schneider's follow-up training?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So when well, go look at her verbiage. I mean, I love it. Like, I used to say to people, like, following up and, you know, like, knowing people listen to it. And I'm like, you just listened to my message and you didn't respond. And remembering that there is noise. Everyone has noise and distractions. But there have been times where I say, look, if you don't want to do this, it's totally fine. We're still going to be friends. I still love you. It's okay to have the conversation and just say, Christy, I'm good. Because the fear is maybe they don't want to be our friend anymore because we've made them uncomfortable with the conversation. So I just call it out like my fear is and just say, we're still going to be friends. You can say no to me. You know?
I need to tattoo that on my arm.
Yeah. It's okay. But if you have that insecurity, bring it. Don't be like, I'm so insecure because I feel like you don't want to be my friend, or I feel like you're ignoring me. Just confidently go out and say, you are, like Ali says, you are totally ghosting me. And I would totally use my voice over texting it so that they can hear that there's a lightness in the air, but I am recognizing something.
Julia, I have one more thing for you. And Christy, this might help you and your teams too. I just heard Julia say something that I hear a lot, and I don't have this problem. Nicole knows this. Like once I've gone through my list, I'm out of like people to talk to. We know that's not true. But I love Big Al and his training. Oh my gosh, of course I can't think of it right now. If Nikita's still on, he can pop it in the chat box. He knows the one I'm talking about. It just teaches you what to say. I can post it on the team website. Like perfect strangers, icebreakers. Thank you, Nikita. Big Al, icebreaker. That's a value of team, right? When you're having a moment. But Big Al icebreakers is a great one for what to say and what not to say. And if you've gone through your list, I guarantee you can go through it again with the new words from icebreakers. You can always go back. And it also teaches you, Nicole says, I'm like the best at talking to new people and getting to know them and expanding my list every single day, everywhere I go, and just being curious about people. So I encourage you guys, if you think that you're at the end of your list, you're not. You're not. And you can always go back with icebreakers, and you can always meet new people. Like go out, like Christy said, and try a new adventure, and I guarantee you'll find some like-minded people who like doing the thing that you're doing, and you'll find new people and new friends and just make friends, and then you can introduce them to what you've got going on later. But I also want to say one thing that Christy, you just like hit home for me. I was thinking about the personal development thing that you said, and I don't know if you guys know who Lauren Slocum is. She's huge in the Tony Robbins community. And of course, people who know me know I've been going to a lot of Tony events. And I love something that she said to me, and I just wanted to repeat it for you because it's so to the point. She said, I learned all this personal development stuff, and it was so cool. And I thought I was all this and all that until I got into Juice Plus, and then I had to use it. And I never learned it until I used it. And I just thought that was so powerful because you can learn all kinds of stuff about personal development, but never have to apply it. And she's like, I had to actually apply it in this business. And she's like, you learn it deeply when you actually have to apply it, right? So I just wanted to add on to that because I thought it was so powerful. But at the same time, I mean, we can all like read books up the wazoo, but until you have to get out there and face your fear, you're not learning anything, right? So thank you.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's like when Brene Brown says, if you're not in the arena, like if you're not out and getting your hands dirty and getting uncomfortable, then I don't want advice from you, And I love that. It's true.
That's probably what I love most about our Green Bronx Machine friend. I always say he's down in the trenches, doing it. And that's what I respect most about him.
He is. I think he should be the president of the United States.
Right? Yeah. Right?
I just have one thing to say too. I think my struggle for over the summer is like, I feel like exactly what you said at the beginning, I'm holding all of these like pieces, and I have all the tools in my hands, but it's like I'm frozen, like I can't move forward. And so I know for me, this summer has been a lot of personal growth for me, and then I'm working towards it. And I'm like, I'm asking for guidance. And then this call tonight, you had me like crying 3 times. I'm like, this was my guidance kind of thing. So thank you for that. But I'm just trying to get out of the frozen state. Like you said, like how in your first Seattle Summit, you had the tools. And so I feel like I have them, but I don't know how to get unstuck.
So Crystal, September is the January in our business.
Yeah.
Like this is the time to just start talking to people and ask questions. Like,
okay.
Everyone is getting off summer. And as much as they want to have said, oh, this summer I'm going to get my body back, there's going to be so much fresh produce, there's also so much debauchery. There's barbecues and burgers and beer and late nights, long days. Like, they just are out of their routines, and none of us feel great when we're out of our routines. So parents, kids, whatever you are, people are welcoming September because it comes with routine. And it is one of the best seasons to be able to ask people if they want to shred, but not like be like, hey, you want to shred with me? I mean, that works too, but finding their pain, you know? So how was your summer? Do you feel like you accomplished any of your goals? What are your goals for the fall? What are you working towards? Find that. And then, you know, like, find their pain. It's almost like there's this wound, rip it open, keep asking questions, squeeze lemon juice on it, and then pour salt on it and seal it up and be like, I have something for you. So just bring the pain by asking questions.
Okay.
This is your month. September is game on.
Yeah.
I live for September. It is more exciting to me than January.
Yeah. I can feel it. I feel September. Yeah, I can feel it. That's for sure.
Crystal, where are you in the marketing plan?
I'm an SC.
Where are you?
SC.
SC, wicked. So tell me what you did to get there.
Like, worked my butt off? Like, or who are my teams?
Oh yeah, that. You know what to do. Wait a second. You know what to do.
Yeah.
What Christy just told you was get into action, and probably, I'm just guessing, you stopped getting into action. Are we close?
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, my team under me are my family. So those were easy to me, right? Like,
oh, that's hilarious. Most people say families are the most challenging.
Right.
So good for you. So just the team that
it's new, right? It's
so
new.
The team that got you to SC is not going to get you to NMD. So just keep going.
Yeah.
Just do what you did before again.
And I think that's it, is just like, that was the thing when I talked about Kristen Hilmer went to GoPro. It's the same thing no matter what. And I think it's just accepting that. I think, you know, I felt this watching NMDs cross stage thinking, once I hit NMD, everything is going to be great. And I'm not going to say it's not, because it is. But at the same time, life is still going to happen for people. And this is something that we want to continue doing. So we have to just recognize it and be okay that no matter what, you just keep hitting levels, but you do the same thing. You just keep going. And when we do stop, that's when it's so hard. It's this reintegration process that you're experiencing. And we've all been there.
Christy, do you have a buddy?
Oh, yes. I have a lot of buddies.
A lot of buddies, right? We don't have to be exclusive. I heard that once.
No, we totally don't have to. I always say this business is like polygamy, you know? It's totally accepted.
Yes. I love it. So when you're feeling fear, who do you reach out to? And like, so if we're stuck, like Crystal's just saying, I mean, I've been stuck at SSC for 4 years, so thank you for sharing that. I'm back in the game. I'm back into action. But like, who do you reach out to and why? Like, I know that when you have different mentors, you pick different people for different reasons, but like, what would you recommend? You don't have to tell us specifically, but what would you recommend for people? Like, practical advice. What do you say to your team? Like, get a buddy. Everyone says that, but like, can you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I tell them now, getting off the gate, like, try to find 3 to 5 buddies, because we know that five SCs get you to NMD, and I know it's not a perfect world, but that keeps things interesting, and we grow when we have team. You know, it's the new energy and new blood that actually teaches you, because it's a new step into psychology of figuring out how you work with them, because systems are duplicatable and people aren't, right? So it's another new person that you get to learn from. But at first, I've always heard you go up, you never go down. You never, you know, if you're struggling, you don't go down to your team and tell them that. But I call BS on that, because I think that they need to know. I think they have to understand that I have struggling days too. I mean, the last conference a year ago, I was on the struggle bus, and I told my team, finally after conference, I broke down in tears, and I said, I feel like I'm doing this all by myself, and all of my leadership has taken a knee, and I feel completely alone. And that is what got them to realize that they couldn't. Yes, I think part of it is I made myself available, because I love my team and I love what we do. So I won't stop. And I think because of that, they knew, oh, Christie's got it. Christie's going to do this. Christie's going to do that. And I said, I'm not running any more team calls. You guys are doing it. I'm done. Like, you need to step up. And it made a big difference. So yes, I have sideline buddies that I can always reach out to. I mean, Nicole's in my Brave Leaders pod. We get pretty real in there, but I think it's okay to be very authentic with your team. You certainly don't want to scare them away, but there's expectations too.
So the buddies that you have are your downline, not sidelines.
I have sidelines. I mean, I have tons of sidelines, but some of the buddies in this business are my best friends. Like, how do you not tell your best friends what's going on? Yes, there is a difference between me being their upline or their mentor in this, but at the end of the day, they're some of the people that I trust my life with. And I wouldn't tell them that I was struggling with my business. Pretty authentic with them in that, not I don't tell my like brand new reps that I don't know. I mean, they've got to earn that. I think everyone needs to earn a vulnerable part of your life, but there are things that I'm honest with them about, but I believe inside, I fully believe that you guys should reach out and become great friends with sideline buddies. Kristen Hilmer is one of my best friends, and I've only known her for 2 years. I mean, I'm one of very few people who got invited to her wedding, and I feel honored because she knows a lot of people. We have no investment pay-wise and within one another. We just want to see each other do better. There's nothing like that relationship with these sideline people in this business.
It's very true. You're awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions? Christy, we're so grateful for your time. You are amazing, a bright and shining light. We're so grateful for your time. Does anyone else have any questions? I can't see the chat box on my phone because I had to come outside because my son's yakking on Fortnite. Awesome. So we're going to detox from Fortnite starting next week. It is the best time. Christie is right. September is our season. People are looking to lose the weight that they gained over the summer. So I say, Goya, get off and get into action and just inspire those around with their healthy living. Put on a smile like Christie has with her infectious smile, and just be infectious, be irresistible, and people will be attracted to you. So I'm going to close off. Nicole asked me to close off, so thank you so much for your time. We're so grateful to have you on twice in one day. It was so great. So I think we're good. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.